In today's video, we'll be taking a look at the PlayStation Store's holiday sale Week 3 editions. Not a ton of great game deal editions being added in Week 3, however, there are some highlights that I want to take a look at. We're probably not going to do an in-depth look of just the Week 3 deals in a separate video, so I'll be going over all of the highlighted deals in this video. Also, I want to go over the patch notes for the latest update on PUBG for the PlayStation 4. Of course, PUBG came to the PS4 earlier this month. It had a relatively strong reception at launch, and it looks like the studio is continuing to improve the experience on the PlayStation 4, and I'll go over all of those patch notes. And of course, while I'm going to be kicking off the video taking a look at the PlayStation Store deals, I also want to give you guys a heads up on some great physical game deals that are going on right now. While we don't have a lot of Black Friday level deals right now, there are a lot of excellent deals available right now that I'll bring to you guys at the end of this video. More on that later. First, let's go over all of the great additions for Week 3 of the PlayStation Store's holiday sale. Again, a lighter weekly update compared to last week. However, there are definitely some standout deals that you guys should take advantage of. First up, the Diablo 3 Eternal Collection is $19.79. If you want a game that you can sink hundreds upon hundreds, even thousands of hours into, Diablo 3 is really that game, and with the Eternal Collection, you're getting the entirety of the Diablo experience. And for less than $20, if we're talking strictly value, this is an insane value deal, again, because you're gonna put so much time into it. And at this point, I've recommended Diablo 3 so many times, but whenever the Eternal Collection is available at a discount, it's easy to give it another strong recommendation. Would highly recommend it if you want to be invested singularly into one game. Diablo 3 is that game, especially at this price. Moving on from that, Dragon's Crown Pro is down to $29.99. Now, the issue with this game from the launch was the pricing in my eyes. It was released at $49.99, and I thought that was just too high of a price point. That was the same issue with Vanillaware's other remaster, an Odin Sphere Left Tracer. That was priced at $49.99 or maybe even $59.99. I don't recall exactly, but these games are being priced a little bit too highly. Dragon's Crown Pro, now that it's down to $29.99, it's more of a palatable price point. I would like to see it a little bit cheaper, to be perfectly honest, but if you like the Vanillaware games, if you enjoyed Muramasa the Demon Blade or Odin Sphere, Dragon's Crown Pro, obviously very similar to those games. And if you're unfamiliar with what these games are, they're just some very artistic 2D action RPGs, a lot of fun, a decent amount of content, just not worth that initial $49.99 price point, especially considering it is originally a PlayStation 3 game. Moving on from that, Alien Isolation is also down to $8.99. I've talked very highly about Alien Isolation. If you want a high-quality survival horror game, this will definitely do the trick. And with a lot of rumblings of another Alien title being in the works, I think it's a foregone conclusion that we will be seeing another Alien title at some point. Now would not be a bad time to give Alien Isolation a look, especially at $8.99. You're getting a solid 12 to 14 hour single-player experience out of this one. Moving on from that, Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition is down to $13.39, quite possibly the best deal of Week 3. Horizon Zero Dawn is a terrific PlayStation 4 exclusive done by Guerrilla Games, the guys that brought you Killzone. Horizon, obviously a far different experience, being an open-world sci-fi action RPG. The Complete Edition includes the base game, which is already great, and the Frozen Wilds expansion, which adds another 8 to 10 hours of content, so pretty sizable addition there. And for $13 and change, it's a great time to pick up Horizon Zero Dawn as well, especially if you picked up your PS4 more recently and you're looking through the backlog of what are the best games to get. Horizon Zero Dawn is definitely one of them, and the Complete Edition is a great value. Moving on from that, Shenmue 1 and 2 collection is down to $19.79, so of course this includes Shenmue 1 and 2 ahead of the release of Shenmue 3, which is coming in August of 2019. Shenmue 1 and 2 are very iconic games, however, it must be known that these games have not aged all too well. At the time of their Dreamcast release, these games were technical masterclasses. You had never seen games that looked this good. However, now in 2018, of course, it really doesn't have that going for it, and there definitely is an abundance of quick time events. However, overall, the storytelling is phenomenal in this game, and if you're going into Shenmue 3, you gotta know the story of Shenmue 1 and 2 as well. $19.79 to get both games, not a bad deal, especially considering it is a more recent release. Sonic Mania is down to $14.99. Can't say enough good things about Sonic Mania, especially if you're a Sonic fan. The only thing I could say is it's priced at $14.99. Maybe you would want it for a little bit cheaper given the kind of experience that it is, but when it was released at $29.99, it was excellent. And if you've been a fan of Sonic for a very long time, Sonic Mania will be right up your alley. It's a real return to form for Sonic, and hopefully we see more Sonic games like this. Spyro the Reignited Trilogy is down to $29.99. Now, the collection with Spyro and Crash Bandicoot has been on sale on the PlayStation Store, but the base Reignited 2090 Trilogy was not on sale until now. $29.99 for it means it's not seeing a significant discount, but still 25% off is enough. And this is a very recent release. It only released about a month ago, and you're getting all 3 Spyro games, a solid 20 to 25 hours of content, and it already released at a great price point of $39.99, so to get it just a little bit cheaper is well worth it. Next up, we have Trials Fusion for $5.99. I've talked very highly about Trials Fusion as well. Of course, we do have a new Trials game coming early 2019, but if you want a cheaper experience, Trials Fusion is definitely offering that classic Trials gameplay. It's addicting, it's challenging, a lot of customization, and for $5.99, another really good pickup. And lastly, Yakuza Kiwami 2 isn't seeing a big discount, but it is down to $34.99 from $49.99. This is Yakuza 2 remade for the PlayStation 4. If you're familiar with Yakuza Kiwami, which was just a PlayStation Plus title, of course, Yakuza Kiwami 2 really just builds upon that. $34.99, still a very steep price point. I thought this was another game that was kind of overpriced, given that the first Yakuza Kiwami was only $29.99, and then they turned around and made Kiwami 2 $49.99. Thought that was a little bit disappointing, but Yakuza 2 by many is seen as the best in the franchise, so it's still well worth your money. And if you're a fan of Yakuza, $35 for it, a sizable amount of content, not a bad pickup. Moving on from that, before I get into the physical deals, I do quickly want to go over the patch notes of version 1.05 for PUBG on the PlayStation 4. The game released to a relatively strong reception on the PlayStation 4, all things considered, given that this is an older game and I feel like PUBG has really peaked, but it seems like there are a batch of people playing on the PS4, and now we have another update in 1.05, and here are the patch notes. Specifically, it's going after a bunch of bug fixes, fixed an issue where muting on team management did not function properly, fixed an issue where the ammunition count sometimes showed 0-0 in the inventory, fixed an issue where incorrect character movement when changing system settings while swimming or underwater. That's it for the update version 1.05. Of course, there was a new map released on PC recently for PUBG, and you might be wondering when we're going to be getting that on the PS4. That'll be coming sometime in early 2019, so still a ways out for that. But PUBG has been a relatively strong experience on the PlayStation 4. I know a lot of you guys have gone past the Battle Royale craze, or even if you're into it, maybe you're playing Fortnite or one of the other free-to-play offerings. PUBG obviously being a buy-to-play game is a little disappointing to some, but that has always been the case for this game, and it holds up pretty nicely on the PlayStation 4, so check it out if you are interested, and version 1.05 is available to download now. Lastly, I do want to go over some great physical game deals available right now. Darkest Dungeon Ancestral Edition is available for $12.68 over at Amazon. This is a great deal. Darkest Dungeon is a tremendous game, and the physical version was going for a relatively high price point. I believe it released at $30, and it wouldn't go on sale all too often, but now to get it for $12.68, great buy on Darkest Dungeon. Would highly recommend that, and that's a very addicting game as well. Awesome gothic art style, and that game has been one of the better received titles in all of gaming this generation, to be perfectly honest. Also, this is an awesome deal. Over at Amazon, they have got Fist of the North Star Lost Paradise. Remember that this was done by the Yakuza team and released a couple months ago, back in October at a full $59.99, and it is now down to $19.99. Wow, a third of its original price. That's a great deal. Fist of the North Star Lost Paradise got a somewhat mixed reception. It kind of fell around that 7 out of 10 range. However, those of you that are fans of Fist of the North Star, of course, this is going to be right up your alley. Couple that with that Yakuza style of combat. There's a lot of things to like in Fist of the North Star Lost Paradise, and for $20, that's an excellent deal. Also, over at Best Buy, Far Cry 5 is down to $19.99, and of course, if you are a GCU subscriber, that means you will get it for $16. I think that's the best deal I've seen on Far Cry 5. Would highly recommend it at that price point, and of course, Far Cry 5 is getting a standalone expansion in early 2019 with Far Cry New Dawn, but would definitely give this game a recommendation, especially at this low price point. And lastly, over at the Square Enix store, they've got Final Fantasy XII The Zodiac Age down to just $9.99. I do believe you'll have to pay shipping on this, but that shouldn't raise the price all too much, and that $9.99 price point for Zodiac Age is already ridiculous. Would highly recommend that. Final Fantasy XII is one of those FF games that at release it had a more mixed reception, but over time it's been viewed as a better Final Fantasy game, and with this release of the Zodiac Age, I think people really started to respect Final Fantasy XII for the high quality that it is. Back when it was released in 2006, I think a lot of gamers were just off-put by the combat, but now the combat is just reminiscent of a lot of MMOs which console gamers have been opened up to, and that should be perfectly fine. I wasn't a big fan of the main character in Vaughn, but the overall cast with characters like Botch and Ash is actually pretty great, and $9.99 for the Zodiac Age, I would say, is very good, so check that out as well. So that's gonna conclude this video. Again, week 3 of the PlayStation Store's holiday sale is live right now. PUBG's version 1.05 update is also available to download, and it includes some bug fixes, and there are some tremendous physical game deals as well. We'll leave links to all of those in the description box below. That's gonna conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.